Well, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to skim coat a wall after drywall repairs. And be sure to watch the whole video because I've got a ton of skim coating tips and tricks throughout. Skim coating is a technique of applying a thin coat of joint compound to achieve a smooth surface. It's going to take 2 rounds of skim coating to get these walls smooth again. If you're looking to step up your drywall, texturing, or painting game, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also the bell notification. And in the last video, I showed you how to apply the joint compound over the mirror mastic areas. I also showed you how to deal with a situation after mudding over the garged brown paper that it bubbled and blistered up. And if you missed part 1 of this video series, first I had to scrape off all of the mastic that held the mirrors in place. Then I applied the Guards Problem Surface Sealer to lock down all the drywall brown paper. First I'm going to skim coat up in the corner next to the ceiling so I can keep it nice and tight. Doing the corners this way at first helps in the final product because you don't have to do a bunch of sanding because you piled up mud. As you can see, there was a black mirror glue along the whole perimeter up near the ceiling. I didn't take the mirrors down, so I'm not sure the exact setup. But again, I'm basically putting the mud up against the ceiling and pulling it back off and lifting one edge so I'm not leaving a line. Okay, one last thing I like to do before I skim coat after drywall repairs is take my 6-inch knife, especially after I've pulled all the mirror mastic off a wall, is just scrape down any high edges. I'm going to go along the ceiling and also on all the patches and just make sure there's no big ridges or boogers. But I'm not going to show you this whole process. I want to get right to the skim. Alright, so I'm using a USG all-purpose joint compound for the skim coating. What I like to do is thin it down to about a thick yogurt consistency with water and a mixing paddle and drill. I'm using a 14-inch drywall taping knife and a 16-inch stainless steel mud pan. Basically, I'm going to get the mud up on the wall and I'm going to stay off the ceiling corner probably just, an 1/8 of an inch. But I'm going to get it up on the wall and then come back and just smooth it out. I'm going to end up doing 2 skim coats, but in this video I'm going to show you the whole process of this one wall skim coat. I'll do another part 4 of the second round of skim coating, so stay tuned for that once I upload it. Again, I'm just putting a thin layer of mud on. I know I'm going to come back and smooth it all out. This wall is extreme. Anything you're planning on skim coating probably doesn't have this many patches on it. But when it's all said and done, you're never even going to know any of it's there. Usually what I do is I just run out a pan of mud as far as I can go, and then I'll drop back and knock down all the edges. Had a couple obstacles to skim around. Fireplace. I'm using some LED lights to light the place up. It doesn't get any sun in the room until afternoon. It's west facing. The homeowners pulled the mirrors down and also attempted to do a drywall patch over in the right-hand corner of this video. You'll see it when I get near it. It is pretty horrendous. But I skimmed that out too. Actually skimmed out this whole popcorn ceiling. All right, so I'm dropping back, cleaning up against the ceiling, and just smoothing it out. I'm just removing any ridges or piled up mud. The cleaner you do your work, the less you're going to have to do. I'm not even going to sand this between the next skim coat. I'll go around and hit it with the 6-inch knife again. Right here what I'm doing is I am lifting up the left side so I don't leave a line. You see the line forming on the right? It's because I have all my pressure over there. That's just with one pan of mud that I skimmed all that out. I'm already ahead of the game with the skim coat that I did along the whole top of the wall where the ceiling meets the wall. And using a 14-inch knife really helps instead of a smaller 12-inch knife. I have a whole playlist of skim coating videos, actually a couple different playlists from skim coating new drywall, skim coating popcorn ceilings, how do I know when to skim coat, what is skim coating. I'll leave a link to a skim coating playlist in the YouTube card above now. All right. Looks pretty good. I'm going to drop back and do the lower section on the other side of the fireplace. I've been working on the upper section. Now if you look, I place the mud in certain spots on the knife, and I never just put a whole swath of mud across the whole knife when I pull. It's usually on one side or the other, or halfway, 3/4, keeping one side of it clean. That's why you see me kind of work it in the pan a few times. Unless, of course, I'm running out of mud, then I'll work the pan as well. It's a little trickier working in the tight spaces with a bigger knife. You could switch to a smaller knife in situations like this, but no time for that. I want to get this coat up. There was that black mirror glue all over around the perimeter. So many blobs. It must have been a huge mirrored wall. Homeowners tried to do some remodeling themselves and it didn't work out. When they were removing the wallpaper, those are some other videos I'm going to be doing. They removed wallpaper on some other walls, and that was a mess as well. Alright, everything's looking good. Like I said, I'm going to be doing another skim coat, and when this dries, I'll hit it with the 6-inch knife, knock down any high spots, so I won't have to sand. Alright, so I'll go back up to the upper section while all that's drying behind me. This skim coat dries amazingly fast. By the time I'm done, it'll probably be halfway dry behind me. Alright, so I'm getting the mud up there. Going to take it right back off pretty much. It does fill in where there's voids or dips or divots. Again, notice the placement of the mud on my knife. It's over to the right side, leaving a little bit void on the left side. That way, I'm not piling up mud, squirting out both sides of the knife when I'm pulling it. Lifting on the left side, applying the pressure to the right. Leaves a nice smooth finish. There's that seal and repair the homeowners did, or attempted to do. I'm going to scrape that back and skim coat that and that popcorn ceiling. Okay, I'm getting near the end. Went pretty quick. Still gonna have to drop down and hit some of the other sections. Those were the worst sections if you saw in part 2. There was a lot of bubbling and whatnot. Good lighting helps. Love the LED lights. They don't put out a lot of heat like the halogen lights do. It also lights up areas where you can see where it needs mud or doesn't. If you don't have some Werner workbenches, it's the walkboards that I'm walking on to get up close to the ceiling. Boy, these things come in handy so much faster than using a ladder. Wouldn't even consider using my stilts on this job. Just too much up and down. Here I am at another corner. You want to pull that pretty tight. You want to keep your corners real nice and clean. All right, I'm going to pull this out, smooth it out, lifting on the left. Again. That's the trick. Pressure on the right, lift on the left, if you're going from left to right. If you're a lefty, I guess you would switch that up. Paying special attention to those corners. I like to get it pretty close to perfect on the first coat. That way the second skim coat just goes like butter. I'll leave links to more skim coating videos down in the description. All right, down to the lower section and last section. I mean, hasn't really taken me too long to get to this point of skim coating. Less than 15 minutes and I've almost got this whole wall done. So, yeah, I'm sure it might take you a little bit longer, but the return on investment is awesome. All right, so I'm just going to continue adding mud and then taking it back off like we've been doing. Not piling it up in the corners. I'm not going to sand this again. I'm just going to scrape it with my 6-inch knife wherever there's any high spots or ridges and do my second skim coat. I'll put a link in the YouTube card above to the second skim coat video. You can see on the wall where it's drying. It dries a lot faster on the joint compound than it does on the old painted surface. And actually the surface pretty much all has guards on it. Problem surface sealer. Check out part 1 of this video series if you haven't heard of guards. This was the worst section of the whole wall. I had some bubbles and blisters pop up on me after I'd already garged it while I was just doing the first coat of mud on it. So I had to deal with that. I got that in part 2 if you want to see me go through some struggles. Hey, if you've made it this far in the video, go down to the comment section and put a hashtag DrywallTube. That way I know who's watching the entire videos. I do appreciate that. Hashtag DrywallTube. Because I am about to wrap up this first skim coat. Let me know in the comments if you have a wall that needs a skim coat. If you watch this whole video, leave a hashtag DrywallTube in the comments. That way I know who's watching these videos. Alright. Got a little spot. Keeping it tight. Looking good. Looking like glass. The first skim coat is complete. I'll let that dry and hit it with a round 2 of skim coating. And if you're looking to step up your drywall texturing or painting game, be sure to hit that round icon in the middle of the screen now to keep up with all my latest videos. And if you have a friend that's a DIYer, be sure to share this video with them on Facebook or Twitter. Check out one of these videos down below. Thanks so much for watching.